Today, I'm going to talk about how to get more job interviews this week without applying for jobs online. If that's something you're interested in, you're struggling to get interviews, this is the video for you. So make sure you stay tuned and watch because it's going to help you out. Hey, this is Michael with Michael's Business English. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Rincon. I'm a former six-figure data analyst turned ESL instructor and career coach, and I support English language learners to improve their career development through communications and language training. If you're new here, on this channel, we talk about business English, communications, and career development. So if you're into that, make sure you like and subscribe. And all the links that we mentioned in this video, you can find in the description box below. Okay, so you might be thinking this is probably baloney, right? Like, how can anyone improve their interview rates very quickly within this week, as a matter of fact? And I'm going to show you right now, it's not. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what's going on right now, even though within a little pandemic. I want to show you, like you can see, I'm going to show you right now on my screen that I got an email today. This is from 5 hours ago. I'm recording, it's almost 9 o'clock here. This was a few hours. You can see I'm getting approached for an operational risk management role at Wells Fargo. Okay, you can see it's advanced data management visualization skills. Okay, like this isn't some job that pays $15 an hour. If it requires Tableau, like forget it. Like it's gonna pay 50 bucks. You know what I mean? You might be thinking, oh, come on, that's just a fluke, right? Well, let me show you another email. This one is a recruiter reaching out to me. This is about a week ago. She wanted to check in, and I just kind of told her what's going on. Let's see if I go down. So the reason she checked in is because she had an opportunity. Let's see. She has a role right here. They have additional positions that pay $55 an hour. And is again, you can see what I mean, like. And today she actually reached out to me to follow up. Like a week has passed by, even though I told her I was interviewing, and she reached out to me saying, "Hey, are you still looking?" Isn't that interesting? What am I trying to show you? Like, I'm not like chasing for jobs. I'm still getting interviews without asking. Here's one more. Like, here's an interview confirmation that I got a couple days ago. See, the manager's gonna call me at 4 p.m. Can do for day Monday. Here we go. This is the actual interview. It's for SQL. I actually had the interview on Monday with this guy who's at Bank of America for an analyst role. Right, and you can see the SQL, data analytics, business requirement, banking, agile, Scrum. See, like, I'm not like applying for jobs online, guys. I'm getting approached. And people approaching me. Like, I can go find more if you want. What I can do is also, I'll do you one better. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, make sure you check it out. I'll make sure to put a link in the comments below. But I have case studies from other students. One of my students is a guy, he's a 20-year-old. You might be thinking like, oh, I'm a college student. This wouldn't work for me, right? Well, I actually have a college student. I have a college student, right? Like, he is a young man from a country called Myanmar, and his concern was I don't have enough experience. That's why he's getting ignored. But after I gave him feedback on his CV, he immediately started getting interviews. Okay, so that's enough showboating from me. Okay, you understand that I'm not just making things up. It's very possible to start getting interviews, even in this pandemic when everyone's going through layoffs, everyone's going through furloughs, everyone's going through hiring freezes. There's still people hiring right now. So the question becomes, how do you get a job? How do you start getting more interviews this week, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic and everything you've done so far hasn't been working for you? And how do you do it without applying online? And let me address that real quick, like why you actually shouldn't be applying for jobs online. So there's a few reasons you shouldn't even be applying for jobs online. The first one, to be very clear right now, there's been multiple statistics that have shown this, but the odds of you getting a job are less than 1%. Okay, if you go to Glassdoor right now, it'll show you there's stats that say that there were over 200 applications per position. Of those 200 applicants, only 4 people or so will actually get interviews. And of those 4 people, only one of them gets an offer. How do you compete with that? You see, you're never, ever, ever going to win that battle, the online battle, unless you are like a perfect unicorn for that role, which is very unlikely because guess what? Everyone's competing for those roles. You're competing for quite a few candidates who are applying for those jobs. Now, I've mentioned in other videos that most of those applicants aren't very good, but at the same time, what is considered not very good is still irrelevant because at the end of the day, even if you just meet the qualifications, that's still not enough because most people meet the qualifications. So my first thing you got to do is you shouldn't be applying for jobs online. There's exceptions to that. We can cover that in another video, but the first thing you do right now is like stop. The way that you start getting more interviews immediately, or this week rather, as fast as you can, is you instead focus on optimizing your marketing assets, right? So that's another way of saying your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your CV, your cover letter, and other assets that you use online. So for example, one of my students was a DevOps engineer, so he has a portfolio that he has the ability to get GitHub and everything. It's really important to have that maxed out. If you're a marketing student, like you better have a really good portfolio. Like there's no excuse not to have some writing samples that you can use immediately, but you want to make sure all of that is fleshed out and maximized. To give you an idea of why this is important, I'll give you an example from one of my mentors. His name is David T, and he's a dating coach for men. And he did a podcast episode called You Are a Hotel, and it's an analogy for men and dating. He talked about a lot of hotels, they focus on marketing and advertising to get people in the door. But you think about like your Motel 6, you think about the hotels that are on like Expedia and Hotels.com. They spend lots of money on ads to get people in the hotel. And the hotel is like, it's cheap, it's not very good, it's nobody really wants to stay there, you just kind of go with it. Versus the comparison, you compare that to a hotel like the W, which is like a high-end hotel that doesn't do any sort of marketing at all. There are no ads. It's really for people who are in the know. That's the difference between, like, the W charges a lot more than, say, Motel 6 dues. So I want you to think about that. When it comes to job searching, the way to improve the number of interviews you get is not by hustling and by actively applying for jobs every single day. No. Well, the way you do this is becoming the best asset available. You create things like a solid resume, a solid cover letter, a solid LinkedIn profile, and you build a network that automatically refers all this stuff to you. Think of it like normal marketing. If you go on Facebook right now, you see all these ads. You'll see ads for free courses, products, and items like that. None of these guys are not applying online to get customers. All they do is put up an ad one time, and customers come in and go through a sales process. They go through a marketing funnel. That's something to think about with what I'm doing with that with my LinkedIn. So those emails you saw, that's not me going out and actively applying for jobs one-on-one. No, what's happening is that I do the work up front. I write a solid LinkedIn profile, a solid resume, and a solid CV, a solid cover letter. I have those assets ready. So you think about sites like Indeed, for example, you can post your resume, you can post your cover letter. Like, why would you apply for jobs online when you can have people come to you? Okay, so how exactly does having a resume, a cover letter, and a LinkedIn profile optimized and set up work for you? So with the resume, your CV, and cover letter, what happens is that most job boards, you just post it up. And the same thing with the cover letter, it's just surprising, but like even on Indeed, you can post up a more generic cover letter, a more catch-all cover letter about who you are, what you serve, how you help people, how you help employers, and you put it up there. Recruiters actually use job boards like search engines. They will type in searching for roles that meet certain criteria. Just like how you might use Indeed and search for jobs, recruiters are doing that with candidates. And here's the thing, the reason that recruiters do that is because they don't want to deal with applicants, because most applicants are just terrible. That's the reason why you saw my emails. Recruiters are coming to me and asking me, like one of the emails said networking, right? Because they're tired. Recruiters are tired of the bad applicants coming in wasting their time. It's so much faster for them to go and reach out to people directly who are actually qualified. Instead of spending hours going through resumes, they'll spend hours going through the resume they actually want to go through. They cut their time so much more dramatically by searching out resumes that meet the specific requirements for their roles. Same thing's true with LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn's even more powerful because you can see like how you're being searched for, how people find you on LinkedIn, what you're being looked up for. And on LinkedIn, there's special settings you can go to in the privacy setting to let recruiters know that you're open to new opportunities. This allows you to kind of like ninja show recruiters that you're available without mentioning it, without publicly notifying your employer, anything like that. You just keep it quiet. But that's what the thing is. Like, none of this stuff matters if you don't have quality in your resume, your CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile. Meaning, like, if you're just writing it out because on your first try, don't expect to get good results. Just like you could see this video, like, I'm just gonna be brutally honest. Okay, you can see that me on video, this is not me being natural. And this is because I'm still gotta practice. Same thing true with your writing a resume. The first time you write a resume, it's gonna be hard. Without a lot of direction, you're gonna have challenges. Even right now, like I'm actually doing this video as part of Peng Joon's 21-day challenge, and you can see that me trying to go off the script and speak into a camera, it's not great. It still does some work, but you can be sure that a huge percentage of people who watch my video are going to jump off, and that's okay. You are where you're at. Even with courses, like, it takes time to get better. So just something to keep in mind, just be aware of, that this might be the reason why you might be struggling. But understand, like, this is the way to do it. Like, if you focus on getting better, not at applying for jobs, which never help you, but getting better at writing your resume, getting better at writing your cover letter, getting better at writing your LinkedIn profile, you practice, you take courses that help you with that. You actually read profiles that are actually getting results, and using that data to help you update your resume, your CV, your cover letter, and your LinkedIn profile. That is how you get interviews this week without having to apply for jobs. And that's exactly what I did. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to find me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to talk to you there and give you some ideas. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.